Have you ever caught yourself mindlessly scrolling through social media only to realize hours has vanished into the digital void? We've all been there, drowning in notifications, emails, and endless streams of digital content. In today's hyper-connected world, technology has become both our greatest tool and our biggest distraction. But what if I told you that your relationship with the digital world could transform from a source of stress into a catalyst for personal growth and wellness? Hey everyone, my name is Elijah, but you can call me Lay. Welcome back to A Little Atypical, where we dive into all things wellness, personal development, and lifestyle topics. This is the start of our next topic of the month, digital wellness. Since we ended our last mini-series about having a sustainable approach to your goals with system design, what better way to segue into tools we use to improve our lives? Well, the digital world started as a tool, but nowadays it evolved to an area of our life. In college, as a part of my minor, I took a stress management course, and how it was structured is we worked on different areas of life, and one of them was technological wellness. Technological wellness, also known as digital wellness, is the practice of using technology in a healthy way and to understand how it influences different areas of our lives. Some examples of the topics included in this area of life is the following. 1. Social media health. Being conscious of our social media consumptions and its impact on our mental well-being. 2. Screen time management, being mindful of how much time we spend on our devices and establishing healthy boundaries. 3. Digital content consumption, understanding the impact of different content creator types and their influence on mental health, from educational creators to lifestyle creators to entertainment-focused channels. 4. Digital community building, creating and participating in healthy online communities while maintaining boundaries and fostering meaningful digital connections. 5. Health integration, using health apps, fitness trackers, and wellness platforms to monitor and improve your physical health. 6. Digital ergonomics and physical health, understanding proper device usage, posture, eye strain prevention, and managing repetitive stress injuries from device uses. 7. Organization, creating systems to manage our digital content, emails, and files effectively. 8. Online privacy and security, protecting our personal information and maintaining safe online practices. 9. Information diet, curating the content we consume and managing information overload. 10. Digital communication, maintaining healthy online relationships and communication boundaries. 11. Tech life balance, finding the right balance between our online and offline lives. 12. Digital sustainability, understanding the environmental impact of our digital footprint and making eco-conscious tech choices. 13. Green computing, using energy-efficient devices and practices to minimize environmental impact. 14. E-waste management, responsibly disposing of and recycling electronic devices and understanding their life cycles. It's a lot, right? But it's a very underrepresented topic in the wellness space, and when people say to just log off because of how intertwined it is in our daily lives, that it would be much more difficult than we understand. Let's start by understanding how our digital landscape has evolved. Remember when smartphones were just for calls and text? I was born in the early 2000s, but I do have a vague memory of how technology was when I was younger. My older brother had a Sidekick phone, and my mom had this pink flip phone. And then when my mom got the BlackBerry Torch, she gave me the pink flip phone. I couldn't do much on it besides make calls. Now, most cell phones today are our personal assistants, entertainment centers, and social hubs all rolled into one. Overall, the digital world isn't just our phones or social media, but the entire internet. We need it for our jobs. Most companies mainly use digital to receive job applications, and unless you're well connected to someone who already works there or have been building relationship with someone who has a say in the hiring process, your application kind of gets lost in the sea of applications. And many times companies use application tracking systems ATS software to match keywords and qualifications against the job description. Also, developing our careers, LinkedIn is essentially supposed to be social media, but for your professional landscape. There are so many schools that use digital platforms to submit their work, and I don't just mean in college, but in middle school and in high school as well. It is used for keeping up with friends and family, especially if they are in a different country, building businesses, expressing our creativity, sharing our interest and talent, and that is just the surface of the digital world. This transformation brought incredible conveniences and opportunities, but it's also introduced new challenges to our well-being. Think about it. We spend countless hours each day staring at screens, switching between apps, and processing an overwhelming amount of information, which also plays a role in our decision-making process. While technology has undoubtedly enhanced our lives in many ways, it's crucial to recognize that this digital integration requires a mindful approach to maintaining our mental and emotional balance. So, while there is so much to talk about with this area of life, I feel like it's important to address the types of people we see online. I want to start with this in our little series because one of the biggest problems in our generation is comparison. Because of the overexposure to so many people and different things, in a previous blog post, I actually did a deep dive about lifestyles as bonus content for the episode Is Being an It Girl No Longer It, where I kind of break down the differences between some of the lifestyles we see. Of course, the it girl, people's princess, that girl, girl boss, etc. So if you're interested, I'll link that in the description box, and if you enjoy breakdowns like this, be sure to follow the podcast. Before I get into the different creators you may come across from, I need to give some background on how are we going to formulate these archetypes. Basically, we are going to categorize them based on writing tools such as author's purpose and writing appeals. The reason why is because once you start looking at creators with more of an analytical eye, it would be harder for you to compare your lives to theirs because you won't see what they are sharing as a reflection of them having more than you or being better than you. You'll see what they post as a story and curation instead of what they are sharing being their whole life. Digital personas are a real thing, and I'm not sure how many people recognize it because we only give vague responses, especially to teens, about how social media is fake, but we don't go into reasonings as to why people use such curation in the first place. Can we say it's manipulation? Possibly, depending on the person and the methods they use to build their persona. However, it would be unfair to ignore how we present ourselves online does play a role in our success. Growing up, they always talked about how we have to dress a certain way to avoid certain nail colors and makeup styles for interviews. And honestly, the digital world has just become an addition to that because how ingrained it became in our lives. In 2020, Harvard Business Review wrote an article called How to Curate Your Digital Persona under the subject of hiring and recruitment. The summary reads, if you're looking for a new job, interested in boosting your personal brand, enhancing your career, or simply trying to improve your understanding of how other people see you, it is important to become aware of the story your public data tells and understand how to change it. A common myth is that algorithms are impossible to fool or trick, but if you understand the formula they are using to analyze you, you can modify your behavior to curate the image you want others to see, including your photographs, videos, tone of voice, the words you use to communicate, and social media posts, shares, and likes. After reviewing the article, these are some of the key takeaways. Your identity is heavily influenced by others' digital perceptions of you. AI algorithms analyze digital footprints to make assessments about personality and capabilities. Key elements that can be managed include photos, videos, tone of voice, word choice, and social media activity. Understanding how algorithms interpret data allows you to strategically shape your online image. Success requires balancing authenticity with strategic self-presentation. Consider different audience needs when curating your digital presence. Basically, the purpose of this article is to reinforce why it's important to be intentional about how we present ourselves online. However, the reason why I wanted to bring this to light is because comparison online is truly poisoning generations. Even in recent news, they speak about the connection between social media and mental health. In my opinion, the approach of limiting exposure wouldn't be completely effective and is kind of an unrealistic approach to solving the mental health crisis. Because even if social media has an age limit, right? Some adults would still make accounts for their kids or teens. Some would make content with their kids, i.e., family channels, but that's a whole different discussion because of the ethics around that. So, yeah. And even if they don't use it for years, because social media presence helps create opportunities and we use it to network for jobs, work for ourselves, etc., it still wouldn't help the fact that once they do use it again, will they know how to cope with hard feelings and not compare? It feels like a band-aid solution, and in my opinion, I feel like it would be more effective to have discussions about the digital world and real human emotions like jealousy, envy, etc. to learn how to not compare. So, as I'm recording this, it's still January and the 12-hour TikTok ban just happened, and since people thought it was going to be gone for good, they spilled some tea on themselves using that sound from Family Guy, the one where he's like, he did not care for the Godfather. And if that doesn't show you why we shouldn't let online determine how good we view our lives or how successful you feel or your overall self-worth, then I don't know what will. But anyways, let's get to the point. So author's purpose, or in this case it would be creator's purpose, I learned it as PI, so persuade, inform, and entertain. But during my research, I've also seen other variations use describe, explain, recount, and instruct. I'm just going to list them all out. So if you don't remember this is going to sound like a flashback to English class. Persuade, to convince audience of a particular point of view or to take action. Inform, to provide factual information or educate audience about a topic. Entertain, to amuse, engage, or provide enjoyment to audience. Describe, to paint a detailed picture using words, helping audience visualize. Explain, to help audience understand complex concepts or processes. Recount, to tell about events or experiences in sequential order. Instruct, to provide step-by-step directions or guidance. And in terms of appeals, I learned it as 3 of them, so ethos, pathos, and logos. But I've also seen Karios. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But basically, ethos appeal to credibility or authority. This relies on the creator's expertise, reputation, or trustworthiness to convince an audience. Logos appeal to logic and reason. This uses facts, statistics, and rational arguments to make a point or to persuade. Pathos is the appeal to emotions. This targets the audience's feelings using storytelling, emotional imagery, or relatable experiences. Karios appeal to timing and opportunity. This focuses on the right moment or context to deliver a message for maximum impact. So, logically speaking, a person can use any of this or a mix of this in order to make their content appealing and have a unique style. Also, I am excluding people who create content for their businesses because I feel like when someone is a business owner, the overall purpose is brand awareness. So I want to just focus on people who use social media outside of that. And it is supposed to be just a general guide, so people could be a mix of these things. But anyways, here are the archetypes. First one up, the influencer. Common purpose, persuade, because they primarily focus on promoting products and services through sponsored content. Appeals, I would say Karios, because they use Karios strategically times promotions and creates urgency through limited time offers and discounts. So, how I would describe them, or the description I wrote for them, is content creators who specialize in brand partnerships and product promotions. They build engaged audiences to effectively market products similar to traditional brand ambassadors. Their content often features sponsored reviews, unboxings, lifestyle integration of the products. They excel at creating this authentic feeling promotional content that resonates with their followers. The next one I called the reviewer, and I said basically their common purpose is to inform. And for this one, I chose to focus on ethos as the appeal, and I would describe these type of creators as content creators who specialize in evaluating and critiquing product or services. These can range from tech experts reviewing gadgets to beauty enthusiasts testing cosmetics, while some reviewers start with professional expertise like a makeup artist reviewing beauty products. Others build credibility over time through consistent, honest content. The key distinction from influencers is their focus on authentic, unbiased assessments rather than paid promotions. Their value comes from providing genuine insights and recommendations based on real experiences with the products they review. The tellers. So I did a mix of things for this one. I would say their common purpose is to entertain, describe, and recount. And typically they would probably use the appeals of pathos and carios. Content creators who share personal experiences, stories, and drama through engaging narratives. They excel at storytelling, whether sharing their own experiences such as storytime videos or reporting on influencer/celebrity news. These creators build their following through relatable, emotional content that keeps viewers invested in the narrative. They strategically time their content releases for maximum impact, like sharing updates in multiple parts to build suspense or releasing content when their target audience is more active. And I will also like to add that the tellers, they also pay attention. So I honestly think they're kind of like reporters in the sense, like, you know how journalists try to get a story out as fast as possible? So they are similar in that way in terms of traditional media. The next archetype I would say is the teachers. Common purpose, explain, instruct. Appeals include ethos and logos. So I would say these are the content creators who share educational and instructional content across various niches. They create how-to guides, traditionals, and advice-based content that ranges from general life skills like personal development tips or lifestyle routines to specialized industry knowledges such as career guidance or professional skills. Their content combines practical expertise with relatable experiences, making complex topics accessible to their audience. Next up, the analyst. So their common purpose is to explain, inform, and recount. I would say their appeals are logos and pathos. So the content creators who analyze media, culture, and social phenomenons through intellectual lens. They produce in-depth examinations of a range of topics from pop culture like shows, books, movies to broader societal issues. These creators excel at drawing unexpected connections between different subjects. For example, exploring the intersection of fashion and politics or analyzing deeper sociological meanings behind popular media. They often incorporate perspectives from various academic disciplines like sociology, psychology, philosophy, cultural studies to support their analysis. Their content typically appeals to viewers interested in critical thinking and unconventional interpretations of familiar topics. Next are the judges. So common purpose to entertain. Appeals, I just only said pathos, but it really depends for this one. But I would say a good percentage of the time it is pathos. So basically, content creators who primarily react to and critique other content creators' content. Unlike the analysts who provide in-depth breakdowns, these creators focus on immediate reactions and personal opinions. They create reaction videos, rating contents, and commentary on trending online content and other creators. Their content is typically more entertainment focused and emotionally driven than analytical. Next, the performers. Obviously, common purpose, entertain, appeals include ethos and pathos. These are the content creators who showcase artistic talents through performance based content, including dancers, musicians, singers, actors. They engage audiences through creative expression like choreographed routines, musical performances, vocal covers, and dramatic pieces. Their following grows through consistent demonstration of artistic skills, whether participating in trending challenges, sharing original content, or reinterpreting popular content. Last, but certainly not least, the baiter. Common purpose, entertain, appeals, pathos. So, content creators who deliberately provoke reactions through controversial or negative content. They follow the all publicity is good publicity approach, intentionally stirring up controversy to gain attention. Their strategy often involves creating inflammatory content to generate outrage, followed by calculated attempts at redemption through apologies or explanations, all designed to maintain audience engagement and relevance. So, if there's any archetypes you notice that I haven't mentioned, let me know in the comments section, especially if you're on YouTube. But moving on, while I am solely focusing on creating archetypes based on purpose and appeals, another thing you can do when observing content is to categorize people into whether the person feels like a comfort creator, motivational creator, or aspirational creator. I couldn't include this in the above about the archetypes because this is too subjective to include because there are many factors that changes the perspective for everyone. Comfort creators are the creators that feel relatable and accessible, often sharing similar interests, lifestyles, or economic circumstances as their audience. Their content feels like connecting with a friend. Aspirational creators, these are the creators that represent goals and lifestyles their audiences desire to achieve. While they can inspire, they may also trigger feelings of comparison or envy since they showcase attributes or achievements their audiences aspire to. And somewhere in between that is the motivational creators. These creators strike a balance between being aspirational and relatable. They inspire growth while maintaining an approachable presence that resonates with their audience's mindset and goals. Understanding these creator archetypes and their distinct roles in the digital space can significantly improve your mental health by transforming how you consume and interpret online content. When you recognize that different creators serve specific purposes, whether providing comfort through relatability, inspiration through aspiration, or just a balanced motivation, you can make more of a conscious choice about the content you consume and better manage your emotional responses to it. This awareness helps break the cycle of harmful comparison by allowing you to appreciate content for its intended purposes rather than viewing it as a measuring stick of your own life. By consciously curating your digital experience and understanding the strategic nature of online personas, you can build a healthier, more balanced relationship with social media that supports rather than undermines your mental well-being. So that is all for today, and now we can get onto the card pull. And if this is where you usually click off but you still enjoy my content, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to keep up to date and to share with your friends, family, or anyone you think would find this interesting. For today's episode, we are switching it up this month and using another oracle deck. I know I typically use the animal deck because it's one of my favorites, but for this topic, I think I would like to use the Starseed deck. The card we got for this episode was A New Earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Don't give up now. You're closer than you think. I know it's hard to hold the frequency of a new age when it feels as if so much is crumbling and so many are losing faith. This is your sign that you're facing the right direction. You have a great gift in being able to see the potential of things before they exist. Tend to the new seeds, dream them into existence. Don't lose faith now. Keep your focus fixed. Planting new seeds and bringing about a shift of the ages is no mean feat. It requires extreme trust and radical vision. If you pull this card, it's a reminder to have faith. You chose to be here to be a part of this global shift. Whether you're bringing it about through prayer and meditation or through working on a new project, job, or creation, keep going. It's happening. Don't give up now. The world needs more dreamers like you, more people with hopes in their heart. The road ahead may not be plain sailing, ushering in a new age in times of change never is. You're being encouraged to remember that what you've been working towards for so long is almost here. Don't question yourself now. Don't waver. Dig your devotion deep, for if you do, in the not too distant future, you'll be able to sit back and watch all that you so carefully planted and nurtured grow and bloom. It's possible. Keep focusing on your dreams. You're closer than you think. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you keep holding the vision? So in my opinion, the New Earth card perfectly mirrors our journey into the digital age. Just as we're witnessing the birth of a new technological era, the card reminds us that we are a part of transformation. Technology has created endless possibilities, from connecting with people across the globe to accessing unlimited knowledge at our fingertips. It's important to see it as an opportunity rather than a burden. When the card speaks of holding the frequency of a new age, it reminds us that technological change, though sometimes destructive, brings potential. Rather than feeling overwhelmed by the constant updates and new platforms, we can choose to see them as tools for creating and achieving our dreams. By approaching the digital world with purpose and optimism, we can transform it from a source of distraction into a powerful tool for realizing our dreams. As for the reflection question, come up with strategies you can use to make your experience in the digital world more positive. If you think this might be difficult, or even if you want some suggestions out of what you thought of, be sure to come back for next week's episode. For what I'm grateful for, this is going to be very niche, but I am so grateful I got new pens for journaling. I love pens and stationery, and since my gel pens were dried out, I wanted to upgrade. Stationery is one of those things I definitely love treating myself with, because I feel like nothing is better than getting pens and stickers, markers, and journals. So I just love the process and how it kind of gives this vibe of carefreeness, and it does connect me back to a certain very specific place, a very creative place. So yeah, that is all. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of A Little Atypical. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Remember to view the description box, where you can find important links such as the one to my website, where there is so much bonus content. So until next time, have a good day, evening, or night, and stay authentically atypical.